Ooh, I forgot. Just a second.
Hope you got your fancy sound effects today, Vlad.
Of course, always.
Thanks for reminding me about that, actually.
Well, we've come in costume and everything, so especially Kazra.
Well, when we were in Poland for Cultural Neoseo, held by Robert Nichel, his own Polish SEO conference, we've been joking around with Steven Kana that he's actually having this whole idea of doing an SEO show and naming it SEO Ho. And and we ended up having this idea of him just getting fully in drag, just with the wig and makeup and everything. Well, it ended up being just some lame broken backlinks, name, podcasts.
He'll do
So, yeah.
anything for attention.
Of course, that's the wild card. All right, everyone, welcome back to Odys Talks. Naturally, this show is brought to you by Odys Global, your one-stop marketplace for H domains and websites, along with several additional services, including fully managed hosting, 301 redirects, EAT audit, and topic clusters. You can also get domains and websites from us in installments in case you don't want to or can't pay for them in full at this particular moment. Also, make sure to check on Odys Mentors. That's your easiest access to the industry's top minds. Kazra and Jason are mentors as well. You can book your coaching session with them, and you can basically just use the links in the description of this episode. And yeah, so today I'm joined by a terrific bunch of three amazing people. It's Jason Mills of the Affiliate School, Kazra Dash of Kazra Dash.
Today I'm an official ODYS VA.
Yeah. Well, he switched the roles. He just decided to make a career pivot, I guess.
Yep.
And Tiffany Pera, who is an e-commerce SEO expert. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, add anything you want about yourselves. So, Tiffany, since this is your first time on the show, why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Yeah, my name's Tiffany. I run an e-commerce business based in the US, and we basically sell high-ticket e-commerce items. So we enlist brands in the US, set up partnerships, and then basically rank for their brand names and their branded search. And it's a dropship model. So then we sell those products direct to the consumer. There's a couple advantages to this business model. One being that the manufacturer doesn't go direct to the customer. So they just use retailers like me to sell for them. So it's a little bit of my background. And yeah, I got into SEO about 2 years ago after hiring like 2 really bad agencies and just was spending way too much money on it and figured I had to learn it myself. So was kind of juggling a full-time job and doing my business on the side for about a year. And I decided to just go full-time on my business. And a big part of the reason was to learn SEO. So I'm happy with that decision.
Awesome. Welcome to the show. Jason.
Yeah, sure. My name's Jason Mills, founder of the Affiliate School, which is where most people know me from.
And Cartel Mobster.
And Cartel Mobster, which I'll get to in a minute. Yeah, portfolio of, I think, 14 affiliate websites now, built up over the last 6 or 7 years. Also run a SEO agency called Rise Online, which I don't think I've really spoken about much in the past. I'm not that much involved in that on a day-to-day basis, but it's kind of there. It's my business. Yeah, and that's me. And then obviously Cartel Mobster. Yeah, I think attended Kazra's mastermind in Vietnam recently, and he posted some photos on Facebook and said that I look like a cartel mobster. So I've got a costume today.
All right, Kazra, tell us about your career change.
Yeah, so today, only for today, I am the official ODYS VA. We sell 301 redirects, we sell EAT audits, topic clusters, and fully managed hosting. If you guys want expired domains, make sure to check out odys.global. Did I do a good job, Vlad?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you've earned some bonuses today, actually.
Great stuff.
Amazing, guys. Well, yeah, you want to add anything else?
No, that's it really.
That's it. That's it. All right. Yeah. And you should go and check out Kazra's YouTube channel as well, which is growing massively these days. Just go on and type in Kazra Dash, and you'll find his channel right away. You can also find his channel in the description box on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. All right. Let's kick things
Ladies
off.
and gentlemen, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, I forgot to turn off the repeat button. All right. So I was thinking about the topic for today because we have the affiliate marketing, the SEO, and the e-commerce expert. So naturally, everything sort of boils down to different income streams. So that was a no-brainer for me. And speaking of, speaking of fancy sound effects, I think this is the best second intro for this episode. Too late. Yeah, I would like to start with the affiliate marketing side of things because affiliate marketing is in crisis today, right? So Jason, since you're the founder of the affiliate school and you're in the thick of affiliate marketing, how are things going on your end, and what trends are you seeing these days? What's happening, and what do you see what's coming up next for the industry, let's say?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a tough time. I don't think there's any getting away from that. Obviously, going to Saigon and going to various events through, the last kind of month or two, everyone is feeling it in the affiliate space. I think it's hard to kind of get away from that. But if you look at the SERPs, there are still so many opportunities for affiliate, whether that's Parasite, and May the 5th is coming. That might change with the site reputation abuse policy that's coming in potentially. But there's still a lot of opportunities, I personally think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on the ODYS podcast, but with age domains. For example, I've launched an age domain project this week in a YMYL niche, very lucrative niche, and it's got page 1 rankings literally from day one. So there's still opportunity there. Yes, it's tougher than ever before. I've got, like I said, I've got 14 different sites. My last 4 that I've started, this one included this week, are all on a really positive trajectory, and that's within the last 12 months that they've started. But anything kind of 18 months or older has at least been hit on some level, up to around a 90% hit. So I'm seeing sites that have kind of dropped in revenue and traffic by 50 to 90% on older sites. Now I'm seeing that across the board, not just with beginners, with intermediates, with, YouTube gurus, influencers. We know some sites, and everyone is in the same boat. So is it a kind of site quality issue, or is it a Google issue? And obviously there's so much chat about Google, and I don't necessarily get into politics, but there's so many issues there potentially. But yeah, it's a really interesting one. But for me, there's still opportunity. There's particularly the age domain. I think if you look at a site if you go with the kind of site approach, and you think, okay, I've got 18 months to make bank here with this site, I think that's a good approach to take now. And obviously age domains works well with that because you can rank from day one. So you can maximize that 12 to 18 month period where you can really make good money. And then anything beyond that is a bonus. And who knows what's going to happen in the next 3, 6 months, 12 months with Google. And then the other side of it is obviously looking at diversifying your traffic streams, which obviously it's the hot topic at the moment. We're exploring Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. We're doing pretty well with that. There's good opportunity with Parasite. So the one that I'm really looking at the moment is Medium, and I really like Medium. There's some good opportunity there. Google seems to like it in certain niches. So yeah, there's still opportunity. You just got to look at page one for what your niche is, see what's there, and then see where can I operate in that space. So if there's a Medium article, then look at Medium. If there's LinkedIn, look at LinkedIn. If it's Outlook India, look at Outlook India, whatever. But the answers are in plain sight most of the time, I think.
What about the? I mean, about less than half a year ago, there was so much noise, so many talks about Reddit and Quora, and today, I mean, I don't hear that much about that anymore. Did anything change, or just
it's still there? It's still.
down?
I mean, I think Quora is a weird one because it's got such a horrible user experience, and it's hard to kind of place links in the right places on that. But Reddit, there's still a little bit of opportunity there. It's just getting past the mods. The moderation is what stops that opportunity. The traffic is still massive, absolutely huge. And actually, I've not really done a lot with Reddit in the last month or so. And while I was traveling for the last kind of 6 weeks, I did place one yesterday, and actually it stuck. And that was really interesting. And it was getting clicks again from day one. And that was with an account that I'd got that apparently was everything I was posting was getting shadow banned and whatever, but it stuck. So how long for, that'll be interesting to see again. But no, the traffic is there on the forums and discussions, Quora and Reddit. Yeah, so it's still there. It's just getting past the mods, which is the part right now. Yeah. So yeah, I think the gold rush has gone a little bit on that, but there's still some opportunity. I don't know, Kaz, have you done anything with Reddit?
I've not, only because I've been focusing on other avenues. So, for example, you could almost say YouTube is a parasite in a sense. I've mainly been focusing on that. The results are great. The reason why I didn't like to focus my time and effort on it is the fact that it's Reddit, like the tactic, like I know fully how to do it. Like me and Jason have spoke about it in detail and stuff. I just don't think it's future proof, and I don't like focusing in time on strategies that aren't future proof, if that makes sense. So even if something was to work brilliantly for 4 or 5 months, I wouldn't be doing it. Somebody in the office would be essentially doing it themselves. So there's other people in the office that have been doing it. They've seen good results, but again, I couldn't tell you where to start on Reddit and Quora and stuff.
I think Kazra makes a great point there. YouTube is the other thing that I've really been focusing on. And again, met a couple of people that focus on YouTube in Saigon, and they looked at my affiliate school channel, and then they looked at one of my niche site channels. I got a niche site channel that had got 7 videos, and she literally just turned around to me and said, forget the affiliate school, focus on the niche site channel. And it is a really good opportunity, because obviously it's a search engine in its own right, but also the videos rank on page 1 of Google almost immediately within 30 minutes to an hour of publishing the video. And we're getting good results with that as well. So I think Kaz was right. It's definitely a more solid platform to build out on than Reddit.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think YouTube's pretty untapped for e-commerce. At least the type of e-commerce I do, I don't see a lot of people leveraging YouTube, and it's just a massive opportunity. I think because it's a dropship model, people tend to rely a lot on the manufacturer description and things like that. Just take it from the Dropbox, but it'll work wonders if you actually just like go out, take the drive to the manufacturer's warehouse. You can shoot. I did this. I shot like 5 videos in a day, and was ranking #1 for like my bestseller through the YouTube search. So yeah, I think YouTube is massive opportunity for e-commerce, and also for informational queries too about like how to install a certain product. And yeah, I think a lot of times these manufacturers are really outdated. They just use their manuals and they don't update them. So if you can just create, you can use AI to summarize their manuals, and then like have an AI voiceover just kind of talk through it step by step. I think people would much rather watch a 5-minute video than read a 30-page manual. So tons of opportunity there on the e-commerce front as well.
Yeah. I back in Saigon, I was talking to Julian Goldie And I was actually doing an interview with him, and this was one of his main points, that YouTube is untapped for basically for all of the digital businesses, whether it's SEO, affiliate marketing, e-commerce. Yeah. By the way, Tiffany, I forgot to give a huge special shout out to Jackie for bringing you over to the Odys meetup in Saigon, because this is the way we got in touch. So Jackie, if you're listening,
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Jackie.
shout out to you. Sorry. Speaking of e-commerce and Google updates, I keep hearing that e-commerce entrepreneurs haven't been pretty much affected at all. They're just going on with their lives and doing their business. So, is this true?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, so for me, I'm not running like a bunch of websites. I've tried that in the past, and it's just really hard for me from a logistical standpoint and just like focus. I do have a client. I just brought on my first client, and they're also in a high ticket brand, but they are a direct to consumer brand, so they don't do a drop ship model. They're just getting started with SEO, but I definitely see potential there. As far as my website goes, I wasn't affected really, honestly, by the March update. So yeah, I would say from the data that I have, it kind of seemed like business as usual, to be honest.
Kezra, you're looking so dodgy.
I just keep seeing myself in the bottom left. I just laugh.
Yeah. God damn it. So Kezra, what's happening in terms of Google update on your end? How much did it affect your revenue, your projects, whatever you're running at this point?
So we have got, I want to say we've got about 25 affiliate websites, and we've got a load of like the rank and rents and stuff like that. The affiliate sites, some which didn't deserve to get hit, got hit. Some that didn't deserve to go up, went up, which is just ridiculous. Like websites that we've not touched in 18 months or 12 months, they've skyrocketed, earning more than what they would have in the past like 4 or 5 months. That's literally from, I don't know, maybe 5-6 weeks until now. So from that standpoint, that's going well. And then the rank and rents, we're just building out more at the minute. Like we're building out a lot of websites. I want to say in the past 4 weeks, we've probably built about 180 websites. So yeah, going well.
Nice. Have you ever considered to switch things up and become the official Odys VA? Just joking. And try and conquer the the unconquered prairies of e-commerce, for example.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we have looked into. Like I don't speak about this at all, but I do have an e-commerce SEO agency. Very, very selective in the clients that we pick. Like they need to understand how SEO works. Not how SEO works, but they need to understand that we don't just deal with anyone and everyone. So very picky with the client base. We probably only onboard maybe one client a month, if that, only because we want to keep quality high. We also don't want to let everybody in. And again, like how we work is very different to a lot of other SEO agencies and stuff like that as well. So, for example, a majority of SEO agencies, you would sign up and they would do one blog article a month and a couple backlinks a month. We're very much different, hence why we're very selective in who we work with. But as for our own e-commerce assets, we launched like a t-shirt brand. You probably saw it, seomerch.com.
Yep.
Again, that's only for just like the guys that go to the conferences and stuff, not actively promoting it. And we do have, yeah, this at the current stage. And then we also have got our link building agency. You could class that as an e-commerce, like for example, Odys is an e-commerce store. So we do have e-commerce platforms and stuff, but again, it's very much down to what we had 6 or 7 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. Speaking of your approach to choosing clients, working with clients, that sounds pretty similar to what Steve Todd posted the other day, probably a month ago. Like, I always tell my clients that if I don't like them, I just fire them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
got
a good approach. The thing is, it like I could easily, or any of us really could easily go and open the doors and onboard, let's say 50 clients a month or whatever. But out of the 50, you're going to have really high churn rates. So for example, you might go and employ loads of staff to actually fulfill the work. And then let's say naturally, if you're picking low quality clients that don't have the patience of waiting around for 6 to 12 months to actually yield the results, they're going to bin you off. Whereas we don't actually have a churn rate. Like, I can openly admit, no churn rate with the clients. But again, to get to that stage, you're going to need to go through a lot of clients and also say no to a lot of clients and be like, sorry, I can't work with you because you think you're going to be able to rank for, I don't know, buy vape pens online in 6 days, and it's not the case. So it is all about expectation setting. As long as you set the correct expectations from the word go, clients will be happy. I'm sure that's the case with ODYS. Like, anybody that thinks they're going to pick up an ODYS domain and rank overnight, it's not the case. You're going to rank a lot quicker than a fresh domain though. So that it's just subtle things like that you need to bear in mind with. And then also, if you do have like strategy calls or even onboarding calls, you can get a good feel for a client, of who they are, what they're expecting from you, and how you can essentially deliver those results.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Speaking of our clients, I mean, there's a reason we've launched additional services, right? Because there was a while ago a common belief that if you get an edge domain, you can just not do anything and just rank, right? And people were doing 3-in-1s wrong. They were doing bad content, posting out bad content and stuff like that. So they ended up coming back to us and saying, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? I paid so much, a couple of grand or whatever it is. It doesn't work. So yeah, there's definitely this, I would say, quality threshold, understanding, I don't know, education threshold that still has to be applied to, let's say, doing
scaling
good.
out,
To scaling out and just, yeah, precisely.
What's out of curiosity, because everyone's like got their own thing. So Jason, you're doing the affiliate stuff. Tiffany, you have the e-commerce, high ticket stuff. I'm kind of all over the shop. I'm an ODYS VA one day, and then the next I'm doing something else. But out of curiosity, because we've all probably done something like this where we've started something and failed. What's a couple things that we've all done and failed, and what have we learned from that? Jason, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll start. Thanks for putting me on the spot. I did try I tried the drop shipping a little bit in the past and failed pretty miserably at it. It was actually a lingerie drop shipping store. Got the agreements in place with people, but I think the issue I had was I kind of did exactly what you said there, Kazra. I went for a very low effort approach. Because particularly with e-commerce, you can be working on a project that's got thousands of products. So then to go into all those product pages and put unique descriptions on them, it's obviously a really boring, laborious task. And this was before the onset of AI. So it was all done by hand. And I literally just copy and pasted. I put a bit more effort in with the collection pages and the home page, but the products pages, not at all. No unique images or anything like that. So yeah, very, very, very low effort. And
I was just about to ask you, were you trying on the outfits and taking unique images yourself? But you kind of already answered that.
Great question. No, I wasn't actually. No, not on that one. Yeah, so like I think the thing is, yeah, it was a bit of a learning experience, but it's so easy to kind of just take that low effort approach, and I think if you apply that to anything, you're going to get poor results. So that's I certainly learned that from that. And also you think, oh yeah, drop shipping, it's really easy, and it's not. It's an easier in terms of logistics, dealing with the products, but you still have all those other elements going on. And Tiffany, I'm sure you experienced that with things like customer service, returns, that sort of thing. So there's still so many cogs to deal with. It just removes that one element. But to go into something and think, yeah, this is easy, it's a mistake.
Yeah, I love that you said that, Jason, because I think that a lot of times when people say like drop shipping, they just instantly think like it's not e-commerce. Like they kind of forget that it still includes customer service, email marketing, ads, SEO, all these things that make up like a real e-commerce business. Drop shipping is just, like you said, it's just a fulfillment type. That to say, not having to deal with fulfillment and only getting to work on marketing and customer service is way better than having like a 3PL or like carrying the merchandise myself. Like I personally never want to get into that stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a buzzword that gets the rap that's easier said than done sometimes, but also great, I think business model for a lot of people just starting out.
Yeah, definitely. I about 5 or 6 years ago, I started a web design agency. And I was getting clients in, perfect. I was outreaching to guys, doing the sales calls, everything. And then stupidly, I thought that I had to physically do the work myself. So like, I didn't understand outsourcing.
You didn't talk to Mad Singers at that point.
Yeah, didn't speak to Mads, unfortunately. But then, yeah, I thought, yeah, I can easily try and scale this out to 10 grand a month and also build the website. But they just fell apart. So looking back at that now, just outsource, create an SOP, even if the VA can't do it at 100% quality score, even if it's, let's say, 80% of the way there, you can obviously improve over time your SOP and scale out a business very quickly that way. But yeah, that was one of the learning curves that I had very straight on. And then obviously I've done the drop shipping and stuff like that, and yeah, it's went full circle.
I think a lot of us go through that, don't we? That we tried so many different things, and then you finally find the one thing that you kind of fit well with, because everyone's got different skills. And you know, yeah, we're all different, aren't we? And not the same thing doesn't necessarily work for everyone. And that's definitely what I found anyway. I think, Kazri, you're going to ask Tiffany what her biggest mistake was, or one of them.
What did you? Yeah, what was your biggest mistake?
I think as far as the business goes, I think it's definitely the business that I had prior to starting my current one, which I was selling I created like a direct to consumer scrunchie business. So this was in 2019 when scrunchies were like very popular. They were hot on trend, and learned a lot. I learned more in that business than I did in my 4 years of college. Like it was a great experience. I think like anyone who's thinking about getting into e-commerce or like starting a brand, I think it's good to pick a low ticket thing, and maybe it doesn't have to be the thing, but it can serve as a great like learning experience that you can leverage for whatever's next. But I mean, the biggest thing I learned from that business was we built such a great community around it, like 20,000 followers, thousands of likes, hundreds of comments on every post. We were creating memes out of the scrunchies, like girls were tagging each other. But that was the problem, right? I had created a brand around Gen Z, and it really resonated with Gen Z, but they would always comment, I'm broke. I can't afford a $15 pack of scrunchies. I don't have a credit card. So it took me a year to realize that maybe I shouldn't market to an audience that has no purchasing power. So I kind of take that lesson with me on like the current business I have, as well as like the client that I bring on, and make sure that anything I do, if it's going to be e-commerce, I try and touch like only high ticket stuff.
Yeah, that sort of like circles back to the low effort thing that Jason and Kezra have been speaking about. Yeah, getting back to income streams. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say Google rolls out some uh, devastating, I don't know, PR move that crushes affiliate marketing altogether, that affects e-commerce in a bad way. What are some of the other ways you think you could leverage in terms of earning online?
For me, it's attention. I always go back to the fact that wherever there's attention, you can monetize. So I think we've already said today, YouTube, massive opportunity. TikTok, depending on what happens there in the US, but at the moment, great opportunity. So, and there's always going to be these platforms where the attention is, and it's just finding ways to put yourself in front of those audiences. So right now, if that happened today, I would literally go all in on YouTube personally. That would be my approach.
What would you market? What would you sell?
I would probably still go down the affiliate route. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that my audience, as well as being on Google, I know they're also looking for these product reviews and guides related to the niche on YouTube. They're probably on TikTok as well. I've just not explored that avenue yet, but I would definitely look into that. So I'd just spend most of my time finding ways to create as much content on YouTube, build out teams like Kazra said. If you can outsource it, maybe do some faceless channels and some face channels as well, a bit of a mix, see what works, and then just double down on that and literally dominate the niche by having multiple YouTube channels that are focused on that particular niche. And it is harder to get the clicks from YouTube videos, but you can still get them. And I think, at least in my experience, the conversion rate on the YouTube clicks are higher than the conversion rate on a website click, because you've already, particularly if there's a face on the video and they've watched a few videos, you've already established that trust. So for me, that works really well.
Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. I think, I think social media is super important. Like Jason said, it's actually going to be a big focus for me this year, just because I think personal brands like super, super important. But I think TikTok Shop is it's a hot category right now. I haven't really spent much time messing around with it, just because it doesn't really apply. Like, people aren't going to buy high ticket stuff on TikTok Shop, but if I had to start over again and I was looking at a platform, I would probably explore TikTok Shop, especially with how cheap like short form editing is becoming. It's like kind of becoming a commodity. You can find like Fiverr gigs for like $5. So I think that's a really good potential. And then just on the other half of that, I think that there is like a resurgence of people wanting to create personal brands. I think that there's kind of an open market for like some sort of content marketing agency, but geared towards entrepreneurs, maybe people who don't want to who have the content but don't know how to format it. For example, like I just went like on a 3-day trip to the Hajong Loop. Was amazing, loved it. I would love for someone to just like look through my camera roll and like pick the best clips, like the best 3 seconds of that 3-minute long clip, and then help me design different hooks and like suggestions for content ideas based off of that. And I'd be willing to pay like a couple grand a month for that. So I think content personal brand content agency would be interesting too.
Yeah, Ezra.
I would become the official Odys VA. The thing is, when it comes to SEO, even if you were to do, let's say, YouTube SEO or TikTok SEO, you're always running the risk of getting hit by an algorithm update or TikTok banning your account or whatever the case may be. So I think as a word of advice to anybody watching, just try and be diverse. Try doing YouTube, try doing TikTok, potentially do Pinterest, obviously still focus on SEO and obviously focus on affiliate. If you
Start your own
can,
masterminders gig.
yeah, set up your own mastermind. But the ultimate thing is, like, Instagram can shut your account down tomorrow. You can potentially do something that goes against your guidelines. Bang, you're gone. So just trying to be diverse as possible. But when I do say that, try to essentially focus on one vertical. Don't go and set up a TikTok to do with cooking, and then an Instagram to do with e-commerce SEO, and then a YouTube channel to do with, I don't know, catching fish or whatever. Just try to niche down, but do it on as many platforms as you possibly can. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Whereas if you're only, for example, focusing on SEO, I actually done a video on this yesterday, I think it was. There's pros and cons to everything. So, for example, SEO, the pro is you can earn a lot of money. The clicks are very quality. So if, say, for example, you're a local business and you're trying to rank, you can get some very high intent people searching for your services, and they'll inquire with you. The bad thing is that, first of all, it's based off of Google's algorithm. So tomorrow they can shut you down, or they can minus 10% or minus 90%, like what Jason was saying. And also, it takes a bit of time to rank as well, especially if you don't know what you're doing. It can also be expensive if you're paying for links and stuff like that. There's obviously ways around it, potentially buying expired domains, etc. But then also, you've got the likes of guys that do PPC. So PPC, on the other hand, people would think, oh my God, it's brilliant. You can get results tomorrow. You can only get results tomorrow if you have a good negative keyword list. If you're essentially on top of everything, making certain that you're proactively adding words to your negative keyword list, making certain that your landing page is super optimized, potentially split testing your landing pages, etc. So everything has like a rainbow that everybody sees, and then they also have a thunderstorm that nobody sees. Even when it comes to Facebook ads, Facebook can shut your ad account down. I've been doing Facebook ads for quite a while, and I've got a lot of friends that do it as well. And the amount of times they just randomly shut your ad account down, it's ridiculous. And then also, like, if you're not targeting the right audience, etc., it can end up you can end up spending a lot of wasted money. So everything has a pro and con. You just need to understand what you're willing to invest your time into, and I think that's probably the biggest thing, because time ultimately you just can't get back. You can make more money. You can go and set up a channel, waste $5,000. $5,000 is way less, in my opinion, than wasting 6 months of your time on something. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, that sounds like you had a great teacher in James Dooley. I mean, I could hear a lot of what you're saying, like he would say that. Yeah, awesome stuff. I have a question for all of you here. While all of you were speaking, I kind of like popped up in my mind. If you had the opportunity to go with something, let's say, secure and stable, like, I don't know, some very quickly ranking local SEO stuff, and on the other hand, you would have an opportunity to take on a risky project with some big, huge potential, but still a lot of risk, what would you take?
I think it depends on your risk appetite, and it also depends on where you're at right now in terms of your business and kind of personal finances, and probably what stage of life you're at. So if I'm 20 and I've got no real kind of financial obligations, I live with my parents, I don't have children, I don't have any real outgoings or debt or anything like that, I can take a lot more risk and I can go for that. But then at the same time, I might be wanting to get to that point where I have that security. So even at that stage, it's going to be a decision to make. For me personally now, I get more excited by the latter. I get more excited by the riskier opportunities, but the ones that have got more upside. But that's because I'm in a position where I'm pretty financially stable. Yes, I've got commitments and I've got financial obligations. I've got 2 children and a wife, but that's all pretty secure, even if this risky project doesn't take off. But I get excited by that. Don't get me wrong, I'm still probably going to do some of the other bits at the same time. But if I had to decide between one or the other, I probably would go for the riskier one. But that's because of my personal situation. So I think it's a very, very personal question.
Well, yeah, it is a personal question. That's why I'm asking the 3 of you.
Yeah.
Tiffany, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, I like things that are like proven to work. So I have no interest in like ever doing like some sort of tech startup that's like trying to solve some problem no one's ever heard of. Like I like tangible like businesses that have, I mean, that there's winners in the market and you can learn from those wins and, find your own way as well. I think for me, like the biggest thing, I want to see upside. Like I got to make sure that if the project I'm working on, it's really just about the trajectory that it can go. So if it's like here and it's stable, I mean, that's just not as interesting to me. But if it starts here, but yeah, it has a bigger upside, I think that's definitely interesting. With the client I recently took on, definitely talks of like equity. I think that that's kind of the way I want to go for any client that I talk to, because I think with e-commerce, it's kind of an all-in-one thing. You can't really just bring traffic to a website. You also have to think about what they're doing from like a social media perspective, what they're doing from their emails. And so it's kind of all encompassing. And so I think figuring out like an equity play within like consulting is kind of my route that I'm going to be doing moving forward. And so with that in mind, it's got to be a company that can hopefully have equity that's increasing over time, or like the equity value is increasing over time.
Nice. Daji Kezra.
I would turn down both opportunities and stay as the official ODYS VA.
He was smiling before he even said that. I knew that was coming.
I was like, what's coming? You look so mischievous.
So I think Jason made a very good point. It depends on where you are in life. Like for example, I think I might have mentioned this on other videos and stuff, but like as soon as I graduated uni, I made a big jump. And I moved like 400 miles away, or maybe not 400, maybe like from Scotland down to Northampton. So literally from one side of the country to the other, which a lot of people would have thought that that's quite a big risk. But at the time, I thought that that's the right thing to do because there wasn't any potential opportunity of growing where I was staying with my mum and dad. And then maybe like 2 years after that, I then went to a mastermind and met James. And I remember on the drive to the mastermind, I was like, oh, I really can't be bothered making this drive. Should I go? Should I not go? Ended up going, yeah, and changed my life. Big leap, some would say, and ended up moving to Manchester, which that's where I'm living now. But now, I think that question doesn't apply to me. And I'll tell you the reason why. Only because I invest in small opportunities and also big opportunities. But I look at what that company is lacking in. So, for example, if a £6 million company comes to me and says, we're willing to give you 50% of this company, but all of our traffic right now comes from Facebook ads and PPC, I'd be like, well, that's brilliant. I'll happily invest into that business. Because I know how to do SEO. You're missing out on all of these organic rankings. Or, for example, they might not be doing anything on YouTube. So I always try to, whenever I'm investing into anything or whenever I'm partnering up with someone, I'll take a look. Are so, for example, if me and Jason were looking to get into business, well, Jason I know is really good at affiliate and he might be really good at content, and I'm absolutely like I've got content writers, but I can't write content. But I'm really good at the link building side of stuff, so that might be a really good opportunity. Whereas with Tiffany, she understands e-commerce, she understands, I believe, the TikTok store and growing out, or she wants to grow out a personal brand. Well, brilliant! I can help her grow out her personal brand. She can help me with the TikTok store type stuff. So that's how I'm essentially always judging if it's a good investment or if it's a bad investment. So nothing really is risky, if that makes sense. It's just we're playing off of each other's like what we're bad at.
Yeah, it's like you're playing poker, you know.
Yeah.
Or chess. I don't know, depending on what point of view you have. But yeah, no, there's a question from Steven Canna. Can he be the assistant to Kazra as a junior VA? I don't know, Kazra, what do you say? Can Steven be your junior VA?
You can follow the 200-step SOP that I've written, then yeah.
200-step SOP. That's nice. All right. I'll twist this question around a little bit, and let's say there's once again this huge opportunity, some very promising project, maybe with amazing, let's say, I don't know, investment opportunities, probably a great upside, but not but. What would make you let's say abandon the idea of meddling with it, even if if it looks like a perfect opportunity?
Is this an investment opportunity? Yeah. I would need to trust the person. Like a lot of my business partners, we go on holiday together. Do you know what I mean? If I can't go on holiday with you, I'm probably not going to invest into an opportunity with you. And that's probably the biggest thing. I another thing as well that I look at is if somebody is, are they gonna quit when tough times come? Like, for example, if say, for example, revenue dips or profit dips, are they just going to be like, right, okay, bye? Or are they going to say, right, we need to fix this, what can we do, and come up with 5 different strategies with me? I think that those two are the biggest thing. It's very much down to their actual who they are as a person, like what they stand for. If they don't have integrity, then there's no point partnering up with someone like that. And again, if they're going to go behind your back or whatever else, again, it's not going to. Yes, it might work when it's a sunny day, but when days are rainy and you're losing staff, and let's say your revenue's halved or your affiliate sites have tanked, are they going to sit there in a room with you and come up with strategies, or are they just going to say, right, bye? Because yeah, you can tell a lot by a certain personality.
Interesting. Tiffany, what about
Yeah,
you?
so I'll speak on like if I was to work on the opportunity. So I think for me, like I try and just like audit it, look at like what's the landscape look like, who are the competitors, what are the keywords, just just a high level audit. But then I also just kind of check in with myself and see how I feel. Like, am I energized by this project, or do I feel super depleted by the hours of work I just spent auditing? So I think that's kind of something that I'm recently coming to, is just kind of checking in with myself and kind of how I feel, because ultimately I think the success of the project, if I'm going to be a part of it, like I want to be excited to learn about it. I want to be doing research on my free time. I want to become obsessed with it. And if I don't like how I feel when I'm working on it, I'm not going to want to do the work. And at that point, it's not really worth whatever amount of money it is. I mean, once you're financially stable, I think like you have the luxury of being able to choose what you work on. And so it's like, might as well work on stuff that's more fun. So yeah, I think I just kind of try and check in with myself and see how I'm feeling after evaluating the opportunity.
Right,
I think mine's a bit of an extension of Tiffany's as well. Just something that's probably ethically sound, something that aligns with my own values, something that is actually giving value potentially, rather than I wouldn't want to be involved in something where you feel like it's a scam or you're ripping people off potentially. So I think that's almost an extension really of what Tiffany said.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about like choosing between having an opportunity to just focus on one thing for the rest of your, I don't know, life or career as an entrepreneur, or doing many different things, but like both options provide the same benefits? What would you choose, guys?
I think it comes down to personality. I definitely know I would go with the multiple thing approach. I wouldn't want to go for just that one, because I know at some point I will get bored. I've got a bit of a kind of overactive brain, that shiny object, and I want to go from one thing to another. That keeps me interested, because again, we all want to be involved in projects that interest us, that fire us up, that are fun to be involved in. And unless it is the ultimate project, the one passion in my life that I have to do, then I think for me personally, it would have to be multiple things. I know I'd get bored.
All right. Tiffany or Kazra?
Yeah, I know. I love what Jason just said there. I agree 100%. Yeah, I think like if it's going to be one thing, it's probably has to be something that I feel like has a really strong mission that I can dedicate myself to, like day in and day out. But overall, I think I'm just passionate about like solving problems and learning, and I think that those two concepts are pretty applicable to like multiple different types of businesses. And so I find myself just kind of gravitating towards different projects and opportunities based on the problem, based on what I can learn and who the team is. So it's kind of how I look at it.
All right. Mr. VA.
So I've obviously invested in different opportunities, different businesses and stuff, but it's all solving the same solution that they all have. So again, like every business that I've invested in, the marketing sucks. So we've kind of just come in and said, right, we need to build out 10 websites or 20 websites for this business, or we need to run ads, or we need to do this, or we need to do PPC or whatever. So it kind of doesn't matter for me, if that makes sense. Like one day I might be working on one website, or I might be doing a topical research for one website, and then the next day I'm doing it for another website, or I'm potentially hiring staff for a certain business or whatever else that the case may be. So it's always kind of like I'm a professional problem solver. Is what I like to call myself at times, outside of being the official VA. But yeah, people just come to me and I try to solve problems for them.
Yeah, I should get both you and Steven in one episode, just like a professional problem solver and professional troublemaker, you know.
I think it also depends on your skill set as well. So I know that I'm really good at taking a project from 0 to 80%, but then taking a project to full completion, that's not my skill set. I'm quite happy to do the kind of the 80 of the 80-20 and then not worry about that 20 and probably not get the full potential out of something, than take something from 0 to 100% and really get something to meet its full potential. So for me, I'd rather have multiple projects where they're at 80% and then I can bring people in to get them from that 80% to 100%, rather than just focus on that one. That's just, again, it's me personally.
All right. Let's imagine a perfect world. What would be your perfect, let's say, life/business model?
Business model?
Life/business model. I mean, so when everything's in its place and you don't have to worry about anything, everything runs smooth, like what would it look like for you in your head?
It'll never run smooth.
So that's your perfect world.
It'll never. The goals and aspirations that I have, I know right now that it won't be a smooth life, but I'm happy to say maybe I'm a psychopath, right? But I want 3 or 4 different mansions dotted around around the world with 18 supercars, and I know that in the back of my head, I know for a fact to live that life, you're not going to be able to have a smooth life that you just open up your laptop for 2 hours a day and you're like, oh, brilliant, bye. It's just not the case. So my life is always going to be hectic. It's probably going to get even more hectic with the more opportunities that I invest in, with the more projects that I start. But the pro of that is the fact that I'm going to have loads of supercars. I'm going to have the goals that I want. So that's it.
A great upside. Yeah. All right. Tiffany, what about you?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think definitely growing personal brands is definitely part of that journey for me. I think it's extremely important just in creating a community around yourself. I think is a really valuable thing. Unlocks a bunch of new types of businesses, like membership businesses, info products, all stuff I haven't gotten into yet. So yeah, I don't know, to be determined, but I think for me, I just kind of want to create an ecosystem around myself. So not just have one business, but ideally have multiple businesses, but have them feed into each other.
Awesome. Jason, come on.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I to be honest, I feel like I already have the perfect life in many ways. And it's not perfect, let's be honest, but I have to pinch myself on a daily basis. I live in a world where I can live anywhere. I can work from anywhere. And I don't have to, I used to be a teacher. I used to have to go in and deal with 11 to 18-year-olds on a daily basis. And don't get me wrong, I loved that part of it. But I had to be physically at that place to earn money, and not a great deal of money, every day, Monday to Friday. I don't have to do that anymore. And, you know, for me, it's like Kazra said, we probably could work 2 or 3 hours a day if we wanted to, but I choose to work more than that on a daily basis because I want to continue to grow my business and continue to live the lifestyle that I live. But it's a pretty comfortable life that I have right now compared to what I had 15 years ago. So for me, I think you have to be grateful. And anyone watching this chat right now has got internet, has got some kind of device, and has the opportunity to do similar things if they haven't already done that. So for me, I think it's a great time to kind of be alive and to strive for these things. And yeah, I'd quite like 18 supercars and 17 mansions as well. You never know, maybe one day. But I think to be honest, I think I would probably, again, like, to be fair to Kazra, he said earlier about time being probably the biggest, most valuable commodity that we have. I'd probably take 10 less supercars and 3 less mansions and have that time in my day to, you know, enjoy and travel and see new things. Yeah.
Yeah, one last question for you guys today, for today at least. I think I know what one Dodger dude will answer, but I still will ask it. Life work balance or life work integration?
Life work integration. Yeah, because there's no such thing as a life work balance. If you think you're going to be able to be a millionaire by only doing a 9 to 5 and then switching off and going watching Netflix, spending time going for a walk, right? It's not the case. Unless like you've got some crazy job where it's like you're doing brain surgery for the president of China. Like you're not gonna be a multimillionaire by doing that. And like people read the 4-hour work week or whatever it is, and they think that they can open up their laptop for 4 hours a week and be a multimillionaire. I'm sorry, you can't. You need to put in the work. You need to go out and graft. Like what Jason said, like we could stop and we could probably live a very, very healthy life. And go and stack shelves at Walmart or Asda or whatever. But we decide to be hectic. We decide to be working every day so we can see the upside of being able to work anywhere that we want or work on our laptops or whatever else. So that's my opinion on it. A work-life integration is a lot better than a work-life balance. I don't believe in a work-life balance.
I think even if you're thinking the term work-life balance, that indicates that you think the one side of it is really rubbish and then the other side is really good. So if I hated what I did on a day-to-day basis, I wouldn't do it. So for me, the work-life integration is the thing, because I like both. I like the fun part, but I like the work part as well. And often they mix, you know, like, again, go back to Saigon. We had a lot of fun at rooftop parties and things, but there was a lot of work going on there, a lot of networking, but it was fun too. So there's again, good balance.
Wasn't
Not balance, integration.
Integration. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with what both of you guys say. I think it comes down to just like actually loving what you do. And I think like when you do that, you tend to just think about it, like, and it's kind of always in your head, even if you're physically not working, you're still thinking about in the back of your head, oh, like, what about this idea, or what about this problem, or what about this or that? And it's fun. It makes life way more fun when you actually like kind of what you're working on, because you can be anywhere in the world and you are entertaining yourself. I don't really care to like watch Netflix all day. All I gotta do is like sit and think. I don't know.
Actually, like Jason mentioned, Saigon, and attending events like SEO Mastery or Chiang Mai SEO or SEO Estonia, that's happening in less than a month and a half in Tallinn. And speaking of work-life balance and work-life integration, I mean, attending these events is basically diving into work-life integration, because I mean, you're there, you're having fun, you're talking to all these different people, but at the same time, you're like, your brains are raving always. You're learning stuff. You're maybe you're giving some valuable advice to someone. You're sharing ideas. It's like non-stop action.
It's very, very tiring. I'll tell you that. Like,
it is.
For example, a lot of people would look at our social medias or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I know this for a fact, because a lot of my friends back home would message me saying, "Oh, I can't believe you're in Vietnam," and then the month before that you were in Dubai. It's like, well, I was in Dubai because I had Affiliate World, and I was in Saigon because I was speaking at the conference and I was hosting the mastermind and stuff like that, which is very, very time consuming, or not time consuming, but very brain consuming, because you're speaking to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody's asking about links, somebody's asking about content, somebody's asking how their affiliate site's been hit, whatever else. So it is very, very brain consuming, and it can be very tiring as well. But the thing is, like, right now, all four of us are on this live stream, and to me, this doesn't seem like work. I'm just having a chat with three people, and a lot of people would look at this with the whole work-life balance and think, oh yeah, they've got 3 more minutes to go and then that's them done. It's like, I would happily spend another 40 minutes speaking to you guys. Do you know what I mean? That's the mindset shift. That's the mindset shift that you need to have.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ooh, looks like a perfect point to wrap this conversation up. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the chat. It was great, a lot of fun, a lot of golden nuggets, and just things to think about and mull over, at least for me, and I hope for our viewers and listeners as well. Oh, yeah, come on, Mr.
I'll get it on.
Cardinal Mobster.
There we go.
Awesome. Yeah. Once again, if you want to pick Jason's or Kazra's brain on,
do you want me to do this section?
Huh?
Do you want me to do this section? I feel like I should do it.
Okay.
Do the pitch.
Since you're the official. Go on.
If you guys want a mentorship call with myself or with Jason, make sure to check out odys.global. If you guys want any 301 redirects, EEAT audits, or topic clusters, or fully managed hosting, make sure to check out the website today. And thanks for watching.
That was smooth.
Perfect.
So smooth. Well done, Kezra.
So smooth. Thank you. All right. See you next time, everyone.